Hey there, it's Monday morning and I released a video on making these yesterday. And what can I say about them? I love them. I designed these, I started designing these, I don't know, 3-4 years ago. I went through several different changes, and right up to the end, even making small changes. Originally, the legs were going to be completely square all the way down, and then I added that subtle taper to them, and I like that better. Also, the curve in the front apron, I added that. Originally, that was going to be square. The curve in the front apron in particular is meant to pick up the curve that's going to be in the bed. The bed is the next phase of the kitchen, not kitchen furniture, bedroom furniture. Big project. So the bed's next. It has a curve in the footboard and the headboard that kind of matches that. So I thought it would be good for a tie to get a look to do that. And what else can I say about them? The color disparity between the top and the base. In the beginning, when I first planed this lumber, because I couldn't see what color it was. I didn't know it was all heartwood. And then when I had the thicker stock, this was really pale. So I had to make a decision whether I was going to do what I wound up doing, or whether I was going to save this heartwood stuff for something else and just get more of really pale sapwood ash to match the base better. And in the end, I went with this, of course, and I'm really glad I did. I think that this really sets off the way it looks. It makes that top section look more like it is actually floating. I used this for the first time on this project, and of course I had a couple of comments about it. Some people surprised that I bought one instead of making one, and I consider making one, but too many other guys have done that already. And the homemade one doesn't have the back and forth wag like automatic. And if I was going to try to build one, it would have to have that feature, because without that feature, doing that manually would just be too annoying, I think, when you're using it. Now, I know you're not using this thing every day, but I don't know. I'm funny about that stuff, right? If it's not doing the job the way that it's supposed to be doing, the way I think it should be doing, I'm probably not going to use it, right? Or I'm going to hesitate about using it. Like, I made that dowel thing before, and that works great. But then you have to be very precise with the location of the dowels. And that's a real drawback. That's the reason why I like the biscuit joiner so much. You cut the biscuit slot, even with the slightly oversized, they're not oversized so that they don't fit in the thing, but they're more snug fit in the cut. The biscuits that I made, and that's a whole other issue that I'm not even going to go into, the comments I got on that from people talking about, well, they don't swell up. Swelling up, I'm not even going to go there. The biscuit joiner, that's the reason why I like using it, because it gives you that leeway, that side-to-side leeway. Say vertical, where the joint lines up, no, you're not getting much play there at all, right? But side-to-side, yes. So that kind of, that's a drawback for the dowel thing. And then this thing here, it depends on, I made my own dominoes. So I could have made them as loose as I wanted, side to side, right? And as tight as I wanted, like thickness-wise, right? You would have to pound them in, basically, if you wanted to make them that thick, right? Or that tight. So I think this is a really versatile machine to have. And as for using on this project and my impressions of it, I liked using it. I thought it was it's not as fast as the biscuit machine because of the way it works. And you really have to grip it hard too. You have to push it down and hold it tight. Otherwise it's going to wag back and forth, like the body of the thing's going to wag back and forth too. But it could be a real time saver if you're doing a lot of this kind of stuff, a lot of this kind of joinery where you have legs joined to aprons. So if you're just doing like a pair of night tables, then no, just cut the mortise and tenon. You like use your table saw to cut the tenon and then hand chisel, like drill and hand chisel the mortise, and you're good to go. I mean, on 8 legs, it's going to take a few, like it's going to take a couple hours or so. It depends upon how quick you are with it. But it, you know, this thing is $1,000. So yeah. On second thought, I am going to talk about it because I got way too many comments from people that were putting it in such a way to say that if you make your own biscuits, the fact that they don't swell up, they're not compressed, that's a deal breaker. That means they're no good. You shouldn't use them. When nothing could be further from the truth. Actually, it's a well-documented problem with biscuits that if you put them too close to the surface when you're using them to assemble a panel, after the thing dries, after you sand it and everything like that, you're left with a very faint depression where that biscuit is, where it actually shrunk back after it swelled up, you know, after the glue fully dried. In between that time, you already sanded it nice and flat, got some finish on there, and it's really apparent when you have a glossy surface. That shows that. Also, there are glues, and I used one here to assemble these tables, polyurethane construction adhesive, that don't swell compressed biscuits because they don't have any water. Polyurethane construction adhesive doesn't have any water in it, and that's what you need to swell wood. So even if I'm using the proper real biscuits, they're not doing that thing that everybody is so concerned that, you know, my homemade ones won't do. My homemade ones, in my opinion, are better than the ones you can buy for 2 reasons. First of all, like I already mentioned, they're slightly bigger than the ones you can buy. They more completely fill the slot, but still, you know, give me enough side-to-side movement. I don't need a lot, but a little bit. And also, the grain goes directly across rather than diagonal. The ones that you buy, the grain does go diagonal, and they're not as strong. Now, there'll be a lot of people who will say, well, they don't add any strength anyway. Well, that depends upon the situation. Here with this glue up that I did on these to do the panels, they didn't really add any strength to that joint that put the 2 boards together to create the panel. But if you're making a picture frame, right, say a 3-inch wide picture frame that's 1 inch thick, rather than just gluing that miter together, if you add a couple of biscuits, one towards the top and one towards the bottom, you're going to add a lot of strength there, especially with a biscuit that has the grain going directly across. So I think it's worth making these if you have the scrap and you have the hole saw and you have the time. I mean, who doesn't have the time, really, when you're out in your shop, you know, you clean up, or you're putting off cleaning up, which I'm famous for. You find something to do, that could be one of the things you do, and you make, you know, 50 or 100 of these, and you use them on your projects.
I can't help how I look. Besides, it's not what's on the outside that matters, it's what's on the inside. No, it isn't. Want to see what's on the inside of me?
Wait, I've got an idea. Why don't you put this paper bag over your head, Ugly Bob?
Yes, if people can't see your face, they won't know how wretchedly ugly you are.